So I've got about 6 different grills in total. They vary from charcoal grilling, propane grilling, and smokers. So basically what I do is, depending on what I'm cooking, I choose which grill I want to cook on.
Hola y bienvenidos. Welcome to Mole Mama Cooking with Love. Every episode, we introduce you to a chef, a home chef, a foodie, a nutritionist, artisans who are helping us to connect and learn. And boy, do we have a special one for you today. And if you like what you hear, please subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you. Your thoughts and your comments and who else we should be talking to are always welcome. And we love the feedback. And also, if you're interested in learning to cook amazing Mexican food like my mama taught me, please visit our YouTube channel where you can learn how to make amazing guacamole, chimichangas, molcajetes de queso y chorizo fundido, crunchy tacos, enchiladas, flour tortillas, and so much more. So for today, if you follow me, you know that I love to grill. My mama taught me how to grill on oak wood in the Central Coast of California. But there's a woman that I follow on Instagram, and I think Instagram needs a new icon for her. They need a drool face that you can just punch instead of having to go and find it, because this woman, oh my goodness. So if you're not following her yet, please go and do so on Instagram. Queen of the Grill is here. So I am so excited. But you're going to hear a lot about her in just a moment. I'm just going to give you a quick recap of who she is and what she's up to. And then she's going to be here to tell us her story and tell us about some of her recipes and the amazing food that she grills. So Paula is a recipe developer, social influencer, photographer, content creator, and backyard barbecue chef from Toronto, Canada. You'll always find her at her grills creating innovative, fun, simple, and flavorful dishes and desserts. Paula shares her grilling recipes, videos, tips, and tricks in order to encourage more people to grill and have fun with it while cooking outdoors. Grilling started off as a hobby, but has quickly become her passion, and she is spreading the barbecue love one dish at a time. So with that, welcome, Paula.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be on this podcast with you.
I am so delighted that you're here. So can you tell our listeners a little bit more about Queen of the Grill and how you got started? And you're a woman who grills. This is awesome. So you have to tell us your story.
I know, it's a tough world out there. I've always grilled ever since I was young. My mom, she's always created recipes. Everything was made from scratch. Things like pasta. She always used to make that from scratch. So growing up, I saw her do all that, and we used to go camping a lot as a family. So camping, my parents would always grill, whether it was for breakfast or dinner, lunch, and things like that. So that always got me excited. I love the smell of the outdoors and the smell of the fire. So it kind of started young. And then once I got older and I was kind of old enough to take over the grilling in the family, I just started doing that, and it just stuck with me since then. That's pretty much how I got started. And, it was thanks to my parents.
That's fantastic. So, and you were saying they would grill for every single meal. And I know that on your Instagram feed, there is like this great picture of breakfast. Like, I can't even believe that that's the stuff you got to eat for breakfast. It was like, what?
Yeah. I literally can grill any type of meal, whether it's breakfast, brunch, dinner, snacks, desserts. I do all of that, and like I said, it brings me back to my childhood from when we went camping. So that when you're camping, you're kind of limited to what you can eat and how you can eat it. So it was always firing up the fire and making breakfast and stuff like that. So that stuck with me, and I love doing that now, being older, and I have a lot of fun with it. I try to make it different and switch it up a little bit from, just your typical bacon and eggs. I try to add a twist to it. I have a lot of fun with it.
Well, it shows. Like I said, your pictures, it's just a drool. It's just a drool. I'm like, I can smell them. I mean, it's just amazing. So how did
Thank
you
you.
come up with your name, Queen of the Grill, and your logo? Oh my gosh, it's so fantastic.
I appreciate that. Thank you. The name just kind of, somebody said it. It wasn't even something that I came up with myself. It was a while back. I've only had my account for about a year and a half, but this was mentioned some time back, and it popped back into my mind, when I decided to start an Instagram account. I believe we had a family function. So I was kind of helping with the grilling, and I decided to come up with something unique on the grill. And, I was making it, and someone came up to me and said, "Wow, that's incredible. Look at you. You're like the queen of the grill." So I said, "Wow, that's pretty interesting. I've never heard that before." So, leading up to it, it came back to me, and I came up with the name.
It is a great name. It's a really, really great name. And
Thank you.
so, and then do you take these photos that are on Instagram? Because they are so beautiful. Or do you have somebody that takes those for you?
No, I do everything myself, from the photos, from the styling, all the videos that I have on there. I do all of it myself. So I do take a lot of pride in that. I do take a lot of time. So I really, really enjoy doing it. And there's a lot of times where I have no idea how I'm going to style it, how I'm going to shoot it. It just comes to me once the meal is finished, and I look at it to see how it came out and the colors and things like that, and then I start putting it together and do the shots.
Okay, so were you a photographer as well as the Queen of the Grill? Because these are like really well done.
No, not at all, not at all. Um, when I first started my account, I started just shooting with my iPhone. So I started with that, the videos with the iPhone, the photos with the iPhone, and then one day I said, you know what? I want them to look a little bit more professional, to have some more color and things like that. So I went out and I got myself a professional camera, and I started shooting with that. I got a stand and everything. So I used that camera to do all of my videos and all of the shots. So I just started playing around with it. I have no experience, no background in photography. I just did some research. I actually read the manual for the camera, which most people don't because it's so thick. It's so thick, but that's where I started to learn to the basics of shooting with a camera. And then I went online and watched some YouTube videos and things like that, and I started following some accounts, of individuals that were professional food photographers and stylists, and I started learning from that. And I'm still learning. I'm nowhere near being close to, perfect or anything like that. I'm always learning. So, but it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun learning.
Okay, all right. That's so inspiring that you've learned how to do all of that yourself. And other than my husband, you might be the first person I've ever talked to that's read the entire instructions for your camera. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I usually never read any instruction manuals. I think that was the first one I've ever
That's
read.
outstanding. So talk to me a little bit more about this food that you're cooking on the grill because so like when we see a shot of, you've made like shrimp tacos, are you cooking those in a skillet that's on the grill? Like what are you doing?
So I've got about 6 different grills in total. They vary from charcoal grilling, propane grilling, and smokers. So basically, what I do is, depending on what I'm cooking, I choose which grill I want to cook on. But as far as it comes to the shrimp, I'm typically just putting them right on the grates. A lot of the toppings that I do put on my tacos, I smoke them or I grill them as well. For example, like salsas, or if I'm making guacamole, or if I'm putting tomatoes on there, I like to smoke that just to add some flavor to the food. So my process when it comes to grilling, most of the ingredients and toppings that you see on the food was either smoked or grilled.
That is amazing. It's so creative, and I'm
Mhm.
sure you're right. It must give your food such a different level of flavor.
Absolutely. It definitely changes the flavors. Definitely.
Because I know that when I make salsas and other dishes, there's I often will do that with my chiles. I will, fire up the grill, but I haven't thought of all the other things. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, and because I have a grill, I have a custom made grill that my hubby got for me. But I
Mhm.
only have one. So could you tell me about all these grills you have? Oh my goodness.
Um, so so when I started my Instagram page, I had one grill,
Okay.
and that was a Weber grill, and that was a charcoal. So that's how I got started. That's pretty much what I was known for. And then I started seeing, a lot of people using smokers and things like that. So I thought to myself, why not expand, my, I guess, barbecue portfolio and add a smoker to it. So I ended up purchasing a Traeger grill, and it's a pellet smoker. And so that was my next grill. And then I ended up getting two more Traegers. So I've got three of them.
Oh,
Just because, just because I love the way smoked food tastes. I do a lot of things like ribs and wings. So I like to throw them onto the smoker, and there's only enough space on one smoker to do all these things. So a lot of the times I'll have two or three grills going at the same time. So there's four of those, and then I've got a propane, and then I also have another custom grill, which is a charcoal grill, which is a bigger size. So when we have like family functions or get-togethers where friends come over, I have like a huge charcoal grill where I can just throw things on. So I actually had that custom made. So that's six grills.
okay, six grills. I'm so envious right now. You have no idea. I'm like six grills. Um,
Most people don't know I have six grills. I don't even say anything because
well,
most
now
people are
they
like,
do.
wow, what do you do? What do you do with all these grills?
That is
So,
amazing. So, this big grill of yours, like how many pounds of food can it hold? Do you know? You can cook at one time?
wow. So let me think. So the last time I used it, I had about, I think there was about 20 chicken legs, 12 chicken breasts, and then I threw on some fish. Oh, there was a lot of food. There was enough food to feed about 15 to 20 people. And there was still room. I just kind of started spreading it around so it looked fuller, but it's huge. It's a huge grill. I'll have to send you a picture of it. It's pretty huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need a picture of that.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
it's
and
pretty
yeah.
huge. It's huge. It's
And
custom
I'm so
made.
impressed.
It's something that I've never seen anywhere. It's just, and it's simple too. It's just a rectangle with a grill, but it's just custom made on wheels for me.
That's fantastic. Because I did not know about charcoal until I was in college. Because I grew up
Mhm.
with my mom grilling, but we always grill on oak wood where I'm from in California. And so I didn't even know that existed. I still don't know how to use it. It freaks me out. I'm like, I can't start it. I'm like, when is it ready?
Right.
So I'm like a gas and an oak girl, but that's it. So it sounds like you have mastered lots of different things. And where are you coming up with these recipes? Because they are so creative and so beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. A lot of them are on the whim. Sometimes I'll be grilling a chicken breast and look at it and say, you know what? I think if I cut it down the middle and I put this and then wrapped it in that, I think that would be good. And it's sometimes I just get ideas like that, or I'll be watching a show on TV. I love to watch the Food Network, so I watch a lot of food shows, and then I'll see them make something and think, oh, you know what, I'm gonna make this, but I'm gonna change it like this. So I do a lot of that where I see something and I just want to take that recipe and make it my own, and things just pop into my head. It's not, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. To be quite honest, sometimes I'll be in bed falling asleep and something will just pop into my mind and you know what, I'm going to try that tomorrow. Um, I do get a lot of inspiration on Instagram as well. There's a lot of amazing people on there that do things, and I'll want to take that and recreate it, and I'll always message them or tag them and say, hey, I saw you do this and I wanted to put my own twist on it. Or a lot of people, if I comment on their posts, will say, you know what, you should take that and do it your way, because I know you can do something different with it. So I get a lot of inspiration from different people as well.
That's outstanding. So, do you have a recipe that's like your most popular or your favorite recipe?
So the most popular recipe to date was one I made recently, actually, and I was pretty overwhelmed in how popular it became. It was um, shrimp and scallops in a garlic butter white wine sauce that I smoked on my grill.
Oh, sounds amazing.
And I couldn't believe how popular it became. There was a lot of huge accounts that were reposting it, and I just couldn't believe it. And then I must have gotten about 2,000 followers from the reposts from all of these different accounts. It was incredible, and I think I did it about 2 weeks ago or so. So that one to date was the most popular one. It's my favorite one. I love seafood, so I wanted to share that, and it's so simple. The reason why I wanted to share it's because it was a simple recipe. You didn't need to really add too many ingredients to it, and really anybody could have done it, whether, even if you didn't do it on your smoker, you can do it on your stove or on your barbecue. So but yeah, I think that one was one of my favorite ones as well.
Well, congratulations. That's pretty exciting. And especially with the recipe that you did.
It was, I was pretty
That's
shocked.
fantastic. It's really fantastic. So, do you have and your ribs? We need to talk about those ribs. You post those, and like seriously, I'm like, could I? You do deliver? Like, how do I get my hands on those? Do you want to talk about some of your sauces that you're using? I know you cook with a lot of different alcohol, and I think it's really wonderful.
Yeah, I like to switch it up. I like to do a lot of different flavors to different meals, and I love to share that with people. Just so most people have these things in their home, always, whether it's beer or wine, most simple seasonings. But I really enjoy cooking with alcohol as well. I did some time back. I did a brandy flambéed shrimp dish on a skillet. So basically, what I did is I put some butter in. I put the shrimp in. Once it was cooked, I added the brandy and I lit it on fire for about 15 seconds, and it just gave it a really nice flavor. So I really like doing that. As far as ribs go, I think that's one of my favorite things to do on the smoker, and it takes about 6 hours. I do it really low and slow, and I take pride in my ribs. So from basically start to finish, it's 6 hours, and I do everything with the seasoning. So I do represent a few companies, um, and I use their seasonings on my ribs. I also blend mine, but I do use most of the companies there. And I've got the ribs on there for about 3 hours, and then I wrap them in beer. And I really like that because the ribs really soak in the flavor. And one of my favorite beers to use for them is actually Heineken, because it has such a strong flavor. The ribs actually absorb it. So once you take it off and then you put the sauce on and put it back onto the grill and let the sauce settle, take them off, cut them up, you absolutely taste all of the flavors, from the dry rub to the sauce to the beer. Yeah, that's really one of my favorite things to make. There's so many great companies that I do work with as far as barbecue sauces. One of my favorite ones is by Code 3 Spices. They make a Patriot sauce, and the color just comes out amazing on them, and the flavor is incredible. Definitely one of my favorite sauces to put on ribs.
Okay, so you're doing a dry rub, you're doing a sauce, you're smoking them, you're soaking them in alcohol. No wonder these things are like, this is a work of art. There's layers upon layers of things happening
Absolutely.
with these ribs. I do a dry rub. That's it. Step one.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's steps to these with me.
Oh my goodness. So tell me this, are you working on a cookbook? Is that something you want to do someday?
I'm not working on one currently, but definitely that would be something I would love to do. At this point, I wouldn't even know where to start and how to start one. And, I have no idea when it comes to that, but absolutely, I would love to do that. I would love to be on a cooking show, whether it's just Rachel Ray is actually one of my favorite people to follow. I've actually been featured twice on her Instagram, Rachel Ray magazine. So that was pretty amazing. But yeah, definitely think I would love to do in the future to do a cookbook. As far as grilling and smoking things like that, because there's so much to grilling. It's not just grilling steak and wings. There's so much you can do to it, and there's so many possibilities and twists and things like that. So I would absolutely like to do that.
Okay, we're gonna put it out there. Rachel Ray, you need to call Queen of the Grill.
Call me, please.
Call her. No, your stuff is so beautiful, and one of the reasons why I wanted to interview you is because it's so beautiful and it looks so amazing. And so many of us who like to
Thank
cook,
you.
we're always looking for new recipes and inspiration, and just you've definitely been that for me. So I'm like, we got to get more people that know about you because it's fantastic.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. It
what do you ever make something that you're like, ooh, that wasn't good. That didn't turn out
there honestly, it's gonna happen every time. It's gonna happen every time. There's certain recipes that you cannot grill. I recently actually did a recipe that was a huge disaster, and I was very disappointed, and I thought that it would have worked, but it didn't. So what I tried to recreate is I'm trying to work on some tailgating recipes for football season. And one of the recipes I was working on was pulled pork stuffed mac and cheese balls. So I was working, I was very excited about it. And I said, wow, this is going to be great. So I did the whole process. I videotaped it. So I did like the recipe part of it. So I had my camera and everything. So I was videotaping how I was doing everything. And I rolled everything in the panko and the eggs and everything like that. And I said, okay, I'm going to put it on the smoker and hopefully it turns out, because I did some research prior to that and apparently it was going to work. So I put it on my smoker and I said, you know what, let me check on this. So I opened my smoker and they were all falling apart. They were not staying together. And I said, oh my God, what did I do wrong? What did I do? What just happened here? What just happened? This was supposed to work. So I was very disappointed. I basically just turned my smoker off and said, you know what, I'm just gonna turn it off and do some more research, regroup, and maybe this isn't the right recipe for a smoker because there's nothing holding it together. There's nothing keeping it from falling apart because I've done a recipe similar to it, but I did bacon wrapped mac and cheese balls. So it was bacon wrapped. So something was holding it together. But this, there was nothing. It was just panko around. So, yeah, it was a huge disaster. I was very disappointed because I was really looking forward to that recipe. Yeah, absolutely. I always have things that don't go that way.
Thank you for sharing that, Paula. And I like to ask some of my chefs on our show about that because I want people to understand that while they see these beautiful photos, there's a lot that doesn't look like that, and so we all make
Exactly.
mistakes, and just to keep trying and experimenting. I think that's so. Thank you for sharing that, and I'm sorry it didn't work, but it sound like an amazing combination. Maybe you should just make it in your oven. So,
I think it's just meant for deep frying. And I didn't want to do that because a lot of people are looking for different ways and different recipes not to deep fry and things like that. So I said, let me try to make something different where people don't have to deep fry. But you know what? You cook, you learn, and then you grow from it. So for me, I really, really enjoy making those mistakes because then it makes me, learn and want to get better at it. And you're always learning. You will never stop learning. That's life. And I actually really enjoy having those moments where things don't go right because, we're human and it happens.
Yeah, it definitely happens. It happens to me too. It definitely happens to me more often than not. So it's yeah, it's great. So are there any other recipes that you've made where you're like, oh, that was so good. I didn't expect it to be that
Mm,
good. Because I've had some things where I'm like, oh, I just recently there was I made a corn salad and it was inspired by another chef that I follow on Instagram and I tagged him and that thing was amazing. I'm like, it's just corn and avocados and some chilies and cilantro. Wow.
it's true though. The simplest recipes actually turn out to be the best ones and things that you don't really plan for. I've had those. Absolutely. Actually, um, yesterday I was on, yesterday was National Cheeseburger Day. So I was actually called in to come into a news show and do National Cheeseburger Day. So they contacted me the day before and literally gave me 7 hours to prepare. And I had 2.5 hours to sleep because I had to get all these things ready and try to figure out different unique things how to make cheeseburgers. So I basically went out to the grocery store and I started looking at everything and just grabbing a whole bunch of different things and thought, you know what? I don't know. If it works, it works. I don't know. I'm just going to grab a whole bunch of stuff. And then I came home and I started making the patties and I had all these different looking buns. And I said, you know what? People put burgers on regular buns, but let me get some cheese swirl buns and some bagels and things like that. So I just tried to make it different. And I said, you know what? If I flop, I flop. So I ended up going on that show and I grilled up the burgers and things like that. And I ended up doing bacon wrapped pickles as one of the toppings. And I just said, you know what, this is going to be a disaster because literally I had 7 minutes or 7 hours to prepare. Went on the show and the host and the crew absolutely loved it. And they were, after we finished filming, they were eating everything that I made. And the host was like, don't leave, don't leave. I want to take photos. I want to take videos. Like, this was amazing. And in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, this was a disaster. This was a disaster. Like, these recipes are not, no one's going to like these. And then I ended up getting a whole bunch of messages on Instagram saying, I saw you on the show. I saw you on the show. And I was like, oh my God. So I think for me, that was one of the things where I came up with some stuff and I didn't think they were great, but people really loved them. And this just happened to me. So it was pretty
Well,
interesting.
congratulations again.
Amazing.
And wrapped pickles. Wow. And I saw the photo of that burger. Oh my gosh. It looked amazing.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. Seriously. Like I do. I said it before, but it's like I can smell your food. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like all
I
right.
wish I
So
wish there was like a smell thing on Instagram where you can smell the food.
right. I think that's the next evolution of digital. That's what I'm hoping.
Absolutely. Yeah,
That's the next phase is we actually get to smell things. I think that would be just fantastic. So I'm hoping somebody smart's working on that, um, especially for us who love
exactly.
food so much. So one of the other
Exactly.
things I wanted to ask you is you've had, it sounds like a pretty remarkable journey. What's been some of the biggest surprises from since you started Queen of the Grill?
I think for me, it's been how quickly my account has grown since I started it. I started it about a year and a half ago, so it hasn't been very long, and it started as a hobby and just something to do. And just to share some recipes. And it's grown fairly quickly. Um, and I've had a lot of companies reach out to me, and they would love for me to represent their products and use their products and things like that. So for me, that was pretty overwhelming. I've never expected it, just because it was something I wanted to do for fun. I'm actually shy to begin with. So for me, it was like, wow, this is, wow, overwhelming. And then, I've gotten a lot of support, a lot of women, a lot of support from women, which is amazing, amazing, amazing. And, with this account, I would love to get a lot more women into grilling and, just sharing their recipes and their videos. And I've met so many amazing people through that. It's been such an amazing journey. And even, from women that don't grill, they've just kind of, taken to my account. I've taken to theirs because I love their recipes, and we just share back and forth. And to me, it doesn't matter whether you're grilling or not. So that's been great. Um, it's been overwhelming, actually. I've never expected it to be, to have so much support in such a short amount of time.
That's absolutely outstanding. Congratulations. It's because you're owning it. You're the queen of the grill. So it should be like this.
Thank you.
So, and no, seriously. And, has there been any challenges? You talked about it, being a little bit overwhelming, but is there anything else that you want to share with our listeners about that?
I think one of the biggest challenges is coming up with new and innovative or creative recipes, because there's only so many creative things you can come up with. There's times where I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm going to make this, and then I'm going through my feed, and then I see someone making and say, okay, well, I'm not going to do that because someone's already done it. I guess I'm hard on myself that way, where I try to do something no one's ever done. But at the same time, you can take something that someone's done before and make it your own. So that's always fun to do. But yeah, I just like to have fun with it. I love the interaction with everybody. I love the feedback, whether it's positive or constructive criticism. I'm always trying to improve. Um, there's always someone out there that sees something differently, and I love getting that feedback. Yeah.
So, for our listeners who are thinking about starting their own business or their own passion project, do you have any words of wisdom for them?
Just to make sure you love what you're doing. Be unique about it. Don't be so hard on yourself. Enjoy what you do. I think, yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing is love what you do, and the rest will come with it. I've never expected the things that I've gotten up until now. I've done it because I've loved it. I don't really look at, well, I want to be famous or anything like that. I'm just doing it because I want to share my passion. I want to share my love, of grilling and doing different types of recipes. So I think, that's one of the biggest things is just love what you do. Be kind to people. You never know what people are going through at the end of the day.
That's absolutely beautiful and really good advice. I think it's so important for us to just love what we're doing. And it's definitely coming out in your photographs. I'm hoping that I get to eat your food someday. I don't know how that will happen. But since we've already asked Rachel Ray to call you,
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so too.
you know, and
I hope she calls, and if she doesn't, you know what? I'm just gonna fly out there and just come meet you. I would love to come out there. There is a lot of my followers are actually based in the U.S., and I do have a lot of followers in California that I would love to meet. So maybe I can do like a tour or something.
that would
And
be
just meet
so
people.
fun. You could cook in my backyard. Like I said, I have one grill, but it is a nice one. It's
Absolutely.
a nice grill.
It doesn't matter what the grill is. I will use it. I will use it as long as it's a grill.
It's a grill, and maybe I could get some tips from you. It's just like, oh my. But, Paula,
That's all that matters as long as
yeah.
it's a
So,
good.
the one thing we didn't talk about was bread. Do you grill bread or anything like that?
Yes, I do. I did a smoked bruschetta recipe not too long ago. So,
I need to
um,
look for that. Okay.
I didn't actually make the bread for that recipe, but I did put it on there to smoke it before I put the bruschetta filling. But I did actually make my own bread. I did an olive bread loaf. So basically, what I did is I just took pizza dough, I rolled it out, and I just put olives because that's one of my favorite things is olives. I don't know why. I love olives in bread. And so I just put a whole bunch of olives. I rolled it into a loaf so it looked like a baguette. And then I put it on my smoker. I smoked it for about, I think it was about 40 minutes or so. And then I just cut it up into slices and served it with dinner. And honestly, that was the most amazing loaves of bread I've ever had in my life.
It sounds absolutely divine. And like, I can't believe I didn't ask you about bread because it's one of my favorite foods. So, like, how did I miss that? So I'm glad I remembered. Okay, I'm going to have to go look for that recipe. How you
It's one of my favorites too.
Okay. Because I do bread on the grill, but I'm just basically toasting it on there to get the flavor of the smoke and
Mm,
with garlic and butter, but
yeah.
it's very simple.
Yeah, I do the same thing as well. But I've made some loaves before too. I made the other one I did was sausage bread. So same concept, but I just put slices of sausage.
Okay. Oh, and have you ever tried linguiça sausage?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, it's
yes. This particular one, I put chorizo sausage in it.
oh, okay. Because I'm Mexican, but I'm also Portuguese, and so I cook with a lot of linguiça, and that's
Oh no way.
hmm yeah. So linguiça is
Oh, that's
fantastic
amazing.
on the grill.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, but you already
Yes,
know. I was trying to give you
absolutely.
a good
Yeah.
tip.
So I actually put the chorizo on it.
Yum. I love pizza. Love pizza. Oh,
So good.
so good. Well, Miss Paula,
So good.
I can't wait to see on your Instagram that Rachel's called you. I'm so excited. I think it's going to happen. So, and, and if you make it,
I'm hoping so.
yes, and if you make it out to California, please reach out. I'm so serious. I would love to cook with you and have you in my backyard. That
Absolutely.
would be,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
it has been such a delight.
Absolutely. That would be my pleasure. And
Yeah, it would be awesome. But it's been
absolutely. And maybe
so
we can film something other than a podcast grilling together.
That would be fun. I have a YouTube channel. We could absolutely do it. Definitely. That would be really fun.
Perfect.
Well, I can't believe that our time is up. I've had so much fun talking to you. I'm absolutely starving now because I had some notes and I had pictures of your food. So I don't know why I decided to torture myself that way. But, continued success, amiga. It's just a joy to follow you. And, I just continue to shine so brightly.
Thank you
And
so much.
to
I
our
really
listeners,
appreciate that.
you're welcome. And to our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to Molly Mama Cooking with Love. Remember to add the most important ingredient to every recipe you make, your love. And as my mama always said to me as we said our goodbyes, que Dios te bendiga. May God bless you. Thank you for tuning in to Molly Mama Cooking with Love.